welcome back to my channel, Janet's English class. Today, you will be learning how to describe art using some very advanced adjectives. This is sort of an artistic lesson, and for each artistic element, I'm going to show you a painting, a picture, and I'm going to give you some adjectives to describe the art. Let's get started. Alright, so our first artistic element that we're going to use English vocabulary to describe is this painting over here, which is talking about color. So the first thing I feel when I look at this painting is that the color is so garish. Garish means something is bold, it is striking. It has a lot of strokes of color in here, and it's so bright, it is colorful, it makes me happy. And the colors and the spectrum is very saturated. Saturated means varying from all spectrums of color. Yet, the color is quite clashing. Clashing is like a storm. The rain is clashing onto the ground. It's like a straightforward painting with so many vibrant colors in it. We can call this clashing. And next, we have the word vivid. Vivid is used to describe something very bright, joyful, vibrant, and yet the colors in this painting is vivid because there's a variety of colors from red to black, all colors in between. And yet, our last vocabulary is stimulating. When you feel stimulated, you must have saw something very amazing. So if I say, oh, this food is stimulating, which won't actually describe. This painting is stimulating because it has such bright, vibrant colors. Sorry, I keep repeating those words. Because this painting has specifically a lot of rainbow kind of textured colors that make it stimulating. Alright, so that is it for our color section. Let's move on to our next section. Alright, our next element is tone. Look at this painting. What is the tone of this painting? When I say tone, tone means how the artist received and drew down this painting. So the tone might be graduated. In this painting, like from brown, kind of blackish kind of colors, and the tone is graduated. It's kind of smooth. It is uniform. Uniform is like it's tidy. Even though the composition is not tidy, the tone is, so that is an oxymoron. Note that down. So the tone and texture is kind of unvarying. It's only from white to brown. Specifically, the tone is just smooth, and it doesn't like vary from like rocky to smooth or glossy to smooth. And so it is unvarying. And yet, it is monochromatic. Monochromatic means that it doesn't really have a bunch of colors in it. It is smooth, it is plain, it is, normal. And yet the tone, this is a hard description. Broken. Why would we call this broken? Well, this painting is broken because the way it lets you feel, and the way that the artist has drew this painting, it is broken. The object is still life. It is broken, and the artists have done a great job using tone to describe the painting. Alright, our next artistic element that we're going to be learning about and describing in English is composition. So composition is the arrangement of something. So a composition of books, a composition of dresses, anything. So take a look at this painting over here. What do you see in this painting? Some ballerinas and a male coach training these ballerinas. So how can we describe the composition in this painting? So we can describe it as horizontal. Horizontal is the opposite of vertical. Vertical is portrait, and horizontal is landscape. So this painting is horizontal, and it is also background. Now, background in this painting, Background means it's sort of like a background. If it's foreground, that means you're actually close to the character. And so here it is background, reviewing a scene from a third person's point of view. And the painting is spacious. There's a lot of space between the ballerinas, and there's a lot of walls, and the space is wide, it's widely ranged. And it's also balanced. The ballerina's legs are in the same height, and the walls and the ceilings, and all the ballerinas are mostly the same height, so it's balanced. And it's also in a landscape format, like I mentioned before. It is in landscape. The format is landscape, opposite of vertical. Let's move on to our next segment. Alright, our next thing that we're going to be learning about is the texture. How do we describe a texture of a painting? Take a look at this famous painting. You might have seen this painting before. It is called The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. Now, how would we describe the texture of this painting? For me, it seems polished. Texture is, kind of like the emotion and feeling, the strokes of paint that the artist is trying to perceive. So the paint is polished, strokes of paint. It is also glossy, kind of bright, and kind of like smooth. It is also curved, like this little wave-like night sky in the background. And I would also describe it as kind of fuzzy, this little dot of blue paint. It's fuzzy, it is soft, it gives me this light feeling. It's polished, glossy, curved, fuzzy, and soft. It depends on the painting. So those are the words that I would use to describe this painting over here, the texture. Alright, so our last fragment of art that we're going to be looking at today, describing in English, is the mood and atmosphere. So look at this painting. It's kind of abstract. It's like maybe a picture of a beach, painting of a beach. And as you can see, this painting has directed its mood and atmosphere to something a bit sad. So how would we use some advanced vocabulary to describe it? So we can describe this as tearful. The shades of gray makes me feel sad. It makes me feel, miserable. Alright, so we can describe this as tearful, miserable. Maybe a bit of gloom is added in this painting because of the texture and the colors used. A bit of somberness, somber, and insipid. Insipid is a very important vocabulary. Insipid means there's no joy, it's plain, it's somber, it's normal, it's ordinary. There's no joy or happiness inside this painting. It's more of, I think it's trying to depict a sad moment or maybe, like a gloomy scene. So that is the mood and atmosphere. Lastly, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something, and I spent a lot of time making this video for you to learn how to describe art in English. Art is beautiful. I love art. What about you? Let me know in my website chat box. You can check out Janet's English courses, and I'm going to tell you a bit about my midterm break. So in school, we have a midterm break in half of a semester. We have a little vacation holiday for a week. I went to a hotel with my parents, my family, and I also went to a sleepover with my friends, which was really fun. So I really hope you enjoyed this video lastly, and thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Like always, I post every weekend, and I'll see you guys next weekend or maybe in a few days. Bye!